Welcome to Talk to Abby. Remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on my latest videos. Someone sent me a question and I'm going to answer that question. Okay, so first of all, I want to run you by what hookup means, right? Hookup pretty much means having multiple sexual partners. Some people see it as a form of casual dating, and for some people it's transactional. They get paid for it, right? So I'm sure this person is talking about hookup as, as a business. Is it a trauma response? Are people going into it as a result of unresolved trauma? Okay, so now, to answer that question, I have questions for you. Yes, because as a psychologist, it is very hard for you to get a straight yes or no answer from us. So let's explore this together. Number one, are you going into hookup because you just want to explore and you're curious? Is it as a result of curiosity? Do you want to see what it feels like to be with multiple sexual partners? Is that why? All right. Is it as a result of peer pressure? Are you pressured by the people in your space, your peers? Is that what they are doing now? And do you feel that you're missing out if you're not into hookup? I hope you're answering these questions in your head. Is it a desire for pleasure? Do you just want to explore that aspect of you? Do you want to have pleasure on multiple levels because you're with different partners? Is that it? Are you going into hookup as a form of casual dating? Some people just do it for the sheer pleasure of being with multiple sexual partners without any commitment or desire for commitment, because they don't want the baggages that comes with being in a serious relationship. So they just feel, I'll use hookup as a form of casual dating where I'll be with different partners. I'm not committed to any of them and I'm having fun. Are you doing it as a form of empowerment? Girl power, where you can be with any man that you so desire. You feel you're in control of your sexual life. You can be with multiple partners. You're in charge. You don't hold allegiance to anyone. You decide, you determine, you pick your men, like you're picking them off the shelf. Is that it? What are you into hookup for? Is it as a form of revenge for all of the heartbreaks you've had? Or as a form of retaliation? If you're able to answer these questions, then you know if it's a trauma response or not. But here's an expert advice or an expert's point of view. People go into hookups for reasons best known to them. Their motivations, based on their experiences or whatever reasons they have, is best known to them. So it will be hard for me to say if it's a trauma response or not a trauma response, because I don't know your reasons. I don't know your reasons for going into hookup. So you need to answer the questions I've listed. Are you into hookup because you believe that is all you have to offer? Now, I can only answer if hookup is a trauma response if you can answer this. So if you're into hookup because you believe that's all you have to offer, that your body is all you have to offer to make money, then that is a trauma response. Because that's not true. You have so much to offer. Have you met you? You have so much to offer. Now, for context, I want you to watch. I made a video on that and the link is here. I want you to watch that video. In that video, I talked about your self-concept, what you believe to be true about you, and what forms your self-concept and how you interpret your experiences. and how those interpretations you give to your experiences affect your behavior. So now, after watching that video, you understand what I'm talking about. Because most people grow up believing that their body is all they have to offer to a man. Their brain, especially for some women, growing up, they make them believe that they have nothing to offer. And it started from the home, from the people who are supposed to love you unconditionally. Your parents or your primary caregivers told you that you're useless, that nothing good can come out of this one. You are lazy. Every time they'll tell you, go to the kitchen, go to the kitchen, go to the kitchen. All you know is the kitchen, the kitchen, the kitchen. So you might interpret that to mean that you're useless, and it's not your fault. You go through life believing that all you have to offer to the world is your body. So how do you do it? You have multiple sexual partners, and for every time you want to be paid for those services that you render. You go through the four walls of a university believing that if any lecturer asks for sexual favors, you should just give, and there's nothing wrong with that, as long as he's going to help you achieve your goal. So you use your body as a product, and that's all you know. That's all you've known, and that's your mindset. And that's a trauma response. You need to heal from that. So if you're going into hookup because you believe that's all you have to offer, then that is a trauma response, because it means you have low self-esteem. It means you have low self-esteem. Your self-concept is marred by all of the negative experiences you've had. You don't have a high self-concept. You don't believe that you're worth more than what you're offering. You don't see yourself in the light of, I am better than my experiences. I am better than what I've been through. As such, you use your body as a way to get whatever you want from life. And so for you, there's nothing wrong with hookup. You can be with multiple sexual partners and you don't feel anything about it as long as you're paid. And that's your mindset. So if in this particular context, that is a trauma response. And also, if you're into hookup because you see it as a way to cope with stress, emotional turmoil, or you just want to temporarily escape from life challenges. There are some issues from your past, issues that you're dealing with, and you just fixate on hookup, fixate on sex, and you find pleasure in being with different people because it makes you escape from your own world of issues. And so just doing that makes you feel good, gives you that temporary fix, and so you sample different men. And so in order to numb that feeling, that pain, and whatever issues that you're dealing with, you just, like some people do it every week. There's a different man every week, and they're okay with it, and that's their lifestyle because they are escaping from something. So if that is why you are into hookup, then that is a trauma response. Are you into hookup because you're just lazy? You don't want to make use of your brain. You just believe that it is so easy. Just lay on the bed, 2-3 minutes, I'm done, I get paid, I'm okay. Because you're lazy. So if you're into hookup because you're lazy and you don't want to engage your brain, you don't want to make use of other skills that God has given you, then that in itself is a trauma response. Because it's your personality. If you're the type that, anything that looks like work is stressful for you, then it means that you need to heal from that. There's a reason why you're feeling that way. So remember, my response is they are conditional based on the conditions that I've listed. So you need to answer those questions to understand what I'm talking about. So you need to determine why you're doing what you're doing. If the reason you are doing what you're doing has a lot to do with your upbringing and your first introduction to sexual intercourse, then it means that there's a problem. It's a trauma response. It is something you need to heal from. Because for all of us, we had our first introduction to sexual intercourse. For some people, it could be in marriage. That was their first introduction to sexual intercourse. For some people, they were molested. They were raped. They were sexually abused. Some people were sexually abused by their parents. I've seen cases, I've read cases, I've seen things in therapy where, someone was abused by her father. She was sexually abused by her father. She was sexually groomed from the age of 10. And when she was 15, She was raped by her father. So our first introduction to sexual intercourse was through rape by her father, someone that was supposed to love her and protect her from the world. As such, she interpreted that to mean that anyone who loves her or show her any glimpse of love, she has to open up. She has to just open up and sleep with a person. It could be a pastor, it could be an auntie, it could be anybody. That's how she understood life. So she saw life through that lens. So I'm saying this to say that everything depends on your first introduction to sexual intercourse. And so that determines what you're doing. That determines why you're into hookup. So if that is the reason why you are into hookup, then that is a trauma response. And so I hope I've answered your question. But if you believe that this is not the life you want to live and you want to get out from it, and you've accepted the fact that you are into it because you believed that you had nothing to offer, then you can seek help. The first thing you need to do is to reach out and talk to a therapist, book a session, and talk about your past and talk about all you knew about sex and how it affected your choices, and heal from that. And then find alternative source of livelihood. Find other things to do to make money. That's the path I would suggest for you to take, if based on everything I've said. But if it is not, then you still need to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, why am I going into this kind of business? And whatever answers you give to yourself will determine your next step. I am unable to tell you yes or no. I am unable to tell you what to do, but I can only suggest that you look inward and search yourself and know the reason why you're doing what you are doing. If the reasons why you're doing what you're doing, a lot has to do with your unresolved trauma, then it means that you need help. And I trust that you'll be able to get the kind of help you need to heal and live a functional life. I hope this helps. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And most importantly, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out on my latest videos. See you in my next video. Ciao.